Let me tell you something that might sting a little. Being broke isn't always about money. It's about mindset. I've seen people making $30,000 a year build quiet fortunes. And I've seen people making $300,000 live paycheck to paycheck, drowning in debt, grasping for status, chasing more. And the difference isn't income. It's how they think about money. We talk a lot about generational wealth, building legacies, breaking cycles, leaving something behind. But the truth is, you can't pass down what you never master. And a lot of us? We're passing down habits, not assets. This video isn't just about your bank account. It's about the stories you believe, the habits you copy, the emotional defaults that sabotage your future without you even noticing. Today, I'll walk you through 10 silent mindsets that destroy wealth before it ever has a chance to grow. Each one is common. Each one is deadly. But here's the good news. Mindsets can be changed. You don't have to be rich to build generational wealth. You just have to think differently, before it's too late. Let's get into it. 1. The entitlement trap. Let me tell you about Marcus. Great guy. Smart. Talented. First in his family to go to college. Got a good job right after graduation. Within a year, he leased a BMW, upgraded his apartment, and started flying first class. When asked why, he said, "I've worked hard. I deserve this." Deserve. That one word has buried more wealth than bad luck ever has. The entitlement trap whispers in your ear. You've earned it. You shouldn't have to wait. Other people have it. Why not you? And so you spend. On cars. On clothes. On upgrades. Not because you need them, but because you feel you're owed them. Here's the truth. Money doesn't care how hard you work. It doesn't reward effort. It rewards decisions. The wealthiest people I know don't buy to feel good. They invest to create leverage. They delay pleasure not because they're cheap, but because they understand the value of control. Entitlement is emotional spending. And emotion is expensive. The day you stop needing to reward yourself is the day you start building wealth. 2. The spend to impress disease. Ever bought something just to feel seen? It's okay. We've all done it. We live in a culture where spending is applause. You post the vacation, the new shoes, the iced coffee with a logo. And every like feels like proof. I'm doing well, but what you're really doing is selling your future for approval in the present. This is the spend to impress disease. And it's contagious. Here's what I've learned. Rich people whisper. Broke people shout. The ones really building generational wealth aren't posting. They're planning. While you're financing a car to feel successful, they're quietly buying assets that throw off cash flow. You want to impress someone? Try saying, "I'm debt-free." Try saying, "My money works harder than I do." That's impressive. The real flex isn't what you buy. It's what you don't need to buy. Because when your self-worth isn't tied to your net worth, your money finally starts growing. 3. The generational amnesia. Let me take you back. Your grandparents, maybe even your parents, grew up on frugality. They stretched every dollar. Saved leftovers. Wore hand-me-downs with pride. Why? Because they remembered their struggle. But then, the next generation forgets. They didn't see the sacrifice. They only saw the result. And so they inherit money, but not wisdom. That's generational amnesia. Money passed down without education is like fire without instruction. It burns everything it touches. Studies show that 70% of wealthy families lose their wealth by the second generation. And 90% by the third. Why? Because no one taught them how to keep it. If you build wealth and don't teach your kids how to think about money, you're planting trees without roots. Don't just pass down property. Pass down principles. Teach them the value of saving, the power of investing, the discipline of living below their means. Because generational wealth without generational wisdom is just a countdown. 4. The "when I get more, then I'll save" lie. This mindset is so sneaky, it sounds almost responsible. When I get a raise, then I'll start saving. When I earn 6 figures, then I'll invest. When I pay off this loan, then I'll take money seriously. Here's the truth. If you don't save at $50,000, you won't save at $150,000. Because saving isn't about how much you make, it's about how much discipline you build. There's a famous story about 2 janitors. One dies with a few thousand in his bank account. The other dies with millions, because he consistently invested small amounts over decades. No lottery. No windfall. Just consistency. This lie, "I'll save later," kills more financial futures than poverty ever will. Because later always moves. The best time to build a saving habit was the first dollar you earned. The next best time? The next dollar you earned. Warren Buffett didn't start rich. He started young. With small amounts. And he never stopped. The broke mindset says, "Let me earn more first." The wealthy mindset says, "Let me keep more now." 5. The lack of financial education at home. Let me tell you a secret most schools never teach. If you don't learn money at home, you'll learn it the hard way, with interest. Too many families teach kids everything except how money works. They say, "Go to school. Get good grades. Get a job. Buy a house." But they don't teach how to budget, how to invest, how to avoid debt, how to delay gratification, how to build wealth slowly. That's not just an oversight. That's a crisis. Because when a child grows up never seeing a savings plan, never hearing about index funds, never learning what a mortgage is, they go into the world blindfolded, wallet open, and ready to be preyed on. And the cycle repeats. You don't have to be a financial expert to teach financial literacy. You just have to share what you're learning. Talk about money at the dinner table. Explain your budget. Let your kids help compare prices. Show them how compounding works. Financial wisdom isn't genetic, it's taught. And the best legacy isn't money. It's a mindset that knows how to multiply it. 6. The fear of simplicity. You know what the wealthy rarely say? "I need something more complicated," but the broke mindset? It loves complexity. Crypto is the future. I'm day trading this small cap stock. I'm flipping 3 drop shipping stores while trading options on the side. Because simple feels boring. And boring doesn't sell on TikTok. But here's the truth. Boring builds wealth. Fast doesn't. The people who are financially free at 40. They drive cars they can afford. They live below their means. They invest in index funds every month. And they do that for years. No fireworks. Just freedom. But simplicity feels like punishment to the broke mindset. It wants status now. It wants excitement. It confuses speed with progress. The fear of simplicity leads to distraction, risk, and wasted time. You don't need to be clever. You need to be consistent. Simplicity works. That's why Warren Buffett doesn't day trade. He buys great businesses and holds them. Be more boring. And watch your wealth quietly explode. 7. The debt normalization myth. Debt has become so common, we think it's normal. Student loans? Just part of life. Car payments? Everybody has one. Credit card debt? It happens. Here's the problem. Just because something is common, doesn't make it wise. The broke mindset treats debt like a tool, but uses it like a trap. Buy now, pay later. Upgrade now, worry later. Live bigger, and deal with the interest tomorrow. But tomorrow always arrives. And when it does, so does the bill, with interest. Now don't get me wrong. Not all debt is evil. Used strategically, to buy income-producing assets, debt can be leverage. But if your debt buys stuff that drops in value the moment you swipe the card, that's not leverage. That's liability. Every dollar of interest is a dollar that can't grow for you. It's money you're borrowing from your future, to impress your present. Warren Buffett says, if you buy things you don't need, soon you'll be selling things you do. Normalize ownership, not debt. 8. The legacy bleeding lifestyle. Some mindsets don't kill your wealth immediately. They bleed it, slowly, quietly, year after year. That's the legacy bleeding lifestyle. It looks like always upgrading phones, cars, furniture, dining out 5x a week while telling yourself, it's just food, vacationing with credit cards because we deserve a break, saying yes to every wedding, trip, birthday gift, and brunch, out of guilt. It's not that any one thing destroys you. It's that the accumulation does. $200 here. $400 there. Month after month. Year after year. By the time you're 40? That's hundreds of thousands of dollars that could have been invested, compounding, building real freedom, for you and your kids. But instead, it's gone. Spent on temporary feelings. The wealthy mindset isn't anti-pleasure. It's pro-intention. It asks, is this aligned with my long-term goal? Am I funding my future, or escaping my present? If you want to leave a legacy, you have to stop leaking your wealth. Plug the holes. Prioritize the future. Because your kids won't inherit your sneakers. They'll inherit your choices. 9. Breaking the cycle, one decision at a time. This isn't about shame. It's about awareness. If you saw yourself in any of these mindsets, good. That means you're human. But now, you get to choose differently. Because generational wealth isn't about one big win. It's built one choice at a time. You choose to start tracking your expenses. To cook one more meal at home this week. To set up that Roth IRA. To read a book instead of scrolling. To say, not now, to that trip you can't afford. And every decision plants a seed. You don't have to fix your whole life today. You just have to make one better choice. Then another. The broke mindset says, this is how it's always been. The wealthy mindset says, this is where it ends, and something new begins. You are one generation away from a legacy shift. And it starts the moment you stop believing that broke is just how life is. Conclusion, don't just be rich, be remembered. Let's recap the broke mindsets that kill generational wealth. The entitlement trap, the spend to impress disease, generational amnesia, the when I have more, line number, financial education, fear of simplicity, normalizing debt, legacy bleeding lifestyle, excusing cycles instead of breaking them. Each one seems small in isolation. But together, they form a wall between you and the legacy you dream about. Here's the truth. Being rich is nice. But being remembered is better. Being the one who changed everything, who taught your kids what money really is, how to build it, how to keep it, and how to grow it, that's real wealth. And you don't need to be perfect. You just need to start thinking different, and doing different. So if this video lit a fire in you, share it. Let someone else know. Being broke isn't just about money. It's about mindset. Break the cycle. Build the legacy. And remember, you don't pass down wealth. You pass down how to think about it.